Girl, I think you're royalty and you deserve nothing less than my loyalty. You hold me down in return, you get more of me. That's how it feel when you're someone's priority, babe. Now what you gonna do with that? I know you ain't used to that. I'll show you better, babe. I'll show you better,
I know you're used to letdowns and heartbreaks, lost in silhouettes of your heartaches. I can show you better, babe.
Welcome to Grown Folks Business, and I'm your hostess with the mostest goddess, Sierra, and I'm here with the lovely goddess, Earlene, and this is Grown.
Good evening. Mm-hmm.
Now, let me tell you all, I'm on fire tonight. Things are not working as they should, so I hope y'all all can hear me, because Irma and Jose and Hector or whoever else has been out there has been wreaking havoc with the power lines and things like that. And so we're just going to go forward tonight and do the thing. So, Earlene, how's your week been?
My week has been hellacious, a lot of wind, a lot of rain, and I'm currently in a car, so you may hear some funny things in my background too, but it's okay, everyone. How y'all doing?
It's all good. How you doing? It's all good. We are ending our series on Is Ratchet the New Real? And I just thought about it as I went through these hurricanes and everything. I think, Earlene, what I decided is that the most ratchet thing on earth is playing with people's money. I really came to the conclusion that what I feel is the most ratchet thing that anybody can do is play with people's money. The scamming situations that are going on right now, I can't really handle it. I've talked to several people in Houston. I've seen some videos of some very well-to-do neighborhoods where everyone's property is out on the street and so on and so forth, but their houses are still standing. The water is receding. I had some friends that were partying in Houston this weekend. Yet there are millions upon millions of dollars being collected. And my thing is, if you have millions and millions of dollars being collected, why are people having to fill out insurance claims? Why are people having to pay deductibles? This is really confusing to me. And the people who live there and could not afford the $400 or $500 or $600 or $800 flood insurance policy for the year, even though they have a $400,000 or $500,000 house, or they just decided that it wasn't necessary because it's been a few years. They haven't showed you any of these people on the television. They've been showing you people that look like they're downtrodden. Of course, they've been showing, black folks. They've been showing white folks helping black folks and black folks there and all this other stuff. But that's really not what's flooded in Houston. And that to me is super ratchet because, first of all, about 30% or a little less than 30% of Houston flooded to begin with. I'm in Texas. And so if 1.2 million people are displaced, where are they? Where are they? I had a man, I was looking at his video, and he was saying that, they were doing publicity stunts up the street, giving out water and food, but around the corner, they were charging people for it. But for the news, it looked like the grocery stores and everything were just helping people. I think that this is the most ratchet thing that can be done. People signing up to volunteer, thousands and hundreds of thousands of clothes being donated, shoes being donated, Pampers, wipes, formula being donated. But where is this stuff going? I don't understand where it's going. And so tonight, we're talking about all the things that are ratchet,
but just get the driver's out.
That just completely blow the mind of me. And I don't know about Earlene because she's preoccupied. Mute your phone, sister.
They can hear you.
We hear all your conversations.
They can hear you. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I'm sorry. Our little tropical storm kind of like bit my wipers and stuff on my car. So sorry.
It's okay. So the thing is, these are the things I find ratchet. Now, Earlene, she's not really offended by people selling food stamps.
No, because I will buy them.
Because we talked about
somebody's selling something now, just let me know.
Now, I find it ratchet. If your kids need to eat, first of all, it seems like people that get assistance have more than people who don't. I don't know if it's because they sell the assistance that they get or what, but you go to some of these people's houses. I have friends who are on assistance and stuff, and I won't knock it, but they're able-bodied. They have big screen TVs. They have leather furniture. They have, they have more groceries than I've ever seen in my life in one house. And they get $800-900 worth of food stamps. Their hair, their nails are always done. And I think to myself, how is this possible? Because I know when people really need assistance, most of the time they can't get it.
Now it's possible because you can go get your hair done in the house. You can sell just pinch them food stamps, get you some cheap weave. You can get you some glue on fingernails. Your girlfriend can fix your hair. You can buy a hot flat screen for about $60 to $100. You can get your aunt's hand-me-down furniture. Put some of them old brass elevates in a bamboo chair in your living room and ta-da.
No, they don't have that type of stuff. They have like brand new, 75-inch flat screen. I'm like, what? Leather sofa. I mean, yeah, they got accounts at Rent-A-Center or whatever, but I'm just saying, then how you going to take a TV that belonged to Rent-A-Center and sell it on Let It Go? But this is the type of stuff that I see going on as I'm looking and I'm reading stories, and I'm like, the most ratchet behavior, first of all, comes from our government, and then it just kind of trickles down to the people. And I think it's sad when you have these organizations that have set up foundations and charities or God knows what else, taking hard-working, honest people's money, people who believe they want to help, and these people have no idea where their money's even going to. I'm talking to people today, and they actually believe that all of Houston is just under the water. But then I realized there's a cognitive dissonance in people because these same people actually believe that Barack Obama was the president with Hurricane Katrina. And I'm like, what planet do you live on? That was George Bush. They actually have made posts to say, now, post the President Obama when he was feeding the homeless in D.C. and the sign behind him says the D.C. shelter or whatever. People posting somehow when Katrina happened, Obama was feeding the hungry. And where's Donald Trump? And I thought to myself, my God, people have lost their mind. President Obama was not your president in Hurricane Katrina. George Bush was. Nobody remembers Kanye's song when Kanye said that George Bush said, F you niggas, I'm out of here. Like nobody, it's crazy. This internet craze has people messed up in their natural mind. The social media, the Fox News, the what do you call them things? The unreality TV shows have people in such a cognitive dissonance. They actually believe in things happen that didn't even happen. It's almost like when Dr. Ben Carson called slaves immigrants. I don't know when someone bound in chains and bust over their head and put on a ship ever was an immigrant. That sounds like slavery to me. But he referred to, our ancestors as immigrants and talked about the dreams we had and this, that, and that. And I was thinking to myself, now this is outrageous. This can't really be happening, but it was. And so I think the most ratchet thing on my list right now is probably the internet. I don't know. I can't. I think it's probably the internet for me. Early, do you have a most ratchet?
I would agree. I think. What do I think is the most ratchet?
Yeah, like I think right now.
I positively cannot stand the fight videos. I hate them. I despise them. And they disgust me. Now, if anything is ratchet, a woman tearing off another woman's clothes and them taking their clothes off and fighting, and that, I don't like that. I don't like that. Recently, the most recent thing is the girl who they say got murdered in a girl's glasses. And that has got to be like the most ratchet thing right there. I mean, you know, the fact that it's even allowed, the fact that they can even share that kind of stuff on there is ratchet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's terrible.
Almost like salacious information, like people hunger and thirst for it, almost like it's righteousness. And it's almost, it reminds me of these movies, even though I haven't seen them because I just didn't really care to, but the Hunger Games, excuse me. And these movies where they had common citizens trying to kill one another for the entertainment of upper class citizens. And so now in all of these reality shows and stuff, you see black women dressed up nice and pretty. I talked about this last week when you were away, you know, on a step and fetch it type of atmosphere where you are the slave and the dandy at the same time. You're dressed up, you got weave down to your knees, your hair's curled all pretty, you got wand curls, your makeup is on fleek, your eyebrows are popping, and the next thing you know, they got you in a designer gown and you got on red bottoms, and the next thing you know, you are acting like a complete and total fool on national, more than national, worldwide television. A complete and total fool. And the sad part is the producers are raking in so much money and they're paying these people a measly $100,000, $200,000 to make a complete idiot of themselves. And by the time you start seeing the shows again, the women have cut up their faces, blowed up their butts, blowed up their breasts, and they're not even recognizable. If you go back to season 1 and then you look at season 4, it looks like, I mean, total different people, but it's the same cast. And it's sending the message that you're not good enough, you don't look good enough, your hair is not good enough. I think what society has done to the mindset of black people as a whole is ratchet. Your hair isn't good enough. Your eyes aren't good enough. Your butt isn't good enough. Your breasts aren't good enough. Your big nose is not good enough. We'll keep your big lips and we'll make the plumpers for those because we actually like those full lips. But yeah, everything else, yeah, it's not good enough. And the way that we have perpetuated that as a society, as a race of people, has been with complete disregard of self. It's almost like, as long as I'm famous, it doesn't matter how ignorant I look. As long as I'm in somebody's household and I'm a household name, it doesn't matter that I make a fool out of myself because I'm young. You know, it doesn't matter if I say that, you know, I'm asleep with her man, her man, her man, and her man, because that's what I do, and present myself as a whore because I'm 24 or I'm only 25. You know, it's like the things that are supposed to remain private are very public right now. You know, early, I saw fights when I was growing up. I did. I saw fights. I saw fights where girls came out of their shirts and things like that. But now, sitting in Texas and you sitting in Chattanooga, we can see a fight from Detroit.
Yes, you can.
We can see a fight from Washington, D.C. We don't, you know, it's people that won't even leave their house down. They spend all day just trolling the internet. But what a lot of people don't know is that they are actually trying to block the information that you can get on the internet. So while they got you all in a trance and they got you all wigged out and unable to get your mind right because you're looking at fights and drug money and pretend gangsters and real gangsters and ratchetness and hoes and pimps, and you enjoying it and you sharing it, the government is behind your back creating acts that's going to be able to keep you from information. They got they came out today with an iPhone. They said it's an iPhone X. The cost is nearly $1,000, $999. Then you add the tax, it's over $1,000. And the ad read, and you will pay for it. And I thought to myself, advertisers are well aware of the level of ratchetness and savagery in people. Now, if you're walking outside with a $999 phone, do you know how many heads are going to be opened up for that? They were knocking people's head in for the iPhone 7. So now you've got $1,000 telephone on the loose. Most of the time it'll be in the ghetto on the loose. You're going to have robberies, murders, because you have people caught in the desire for consumption and the desire for status. And it's all come about by using reality TV, which is completely unreal. It's completely unreal. And people are literally caught up in a narcissism that is so sickening, and they can't even get out of it. They can't even get out of it. No matter what you would try to talk to them about where they're at, the only thing you hear them do is defend it. Defend it. Well, everybody's doing it. Well, so-and-so this. Well, so-and-so's that. And it's kind of strange to me because critical thinking has become a lost art form. People ask me, like, you know, Goddess Sierra, why don't you watch television? And I do look at certain things. I watch certain things on Gaia TV and things like that because, you know, they're putting out something that benefits my life. But I'm not going to sit up and look at 9 hours. I used to back in the past, 9 hours of Law and Order. There's some channels that play the same exact show over an hour on top of hour. And you notice a lot of those shows are murders. Murders. And people have no qualms with murdering folks now. You see people on the internet stomping people in the head. You see people kicking people in the face when they are clearly unconscious. You see
chopping people's heads off.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. What?
Chopping people's heads off on social media. Blowing people's head off on social media, like literally.
Yeah. Now, I heard about that. I
just don't understand why they allow that kind of stuff to be shared on social media if it's so violent. They would take it. They will block a violent post. They would block violent words, or they would block posts with too many cuss words and stuff in it. Mm-hmm. But a person can get their head blown off and they don't block it.
They don't block it for hours a day.
You can share a person having sex or doing oral sex on social media anywhere. But you know, they won't block that. That's no. Okay.
Not for days, hours, or weeks. There was a video that was going around of a black woman. She was being held by some Arabic men. They put something on top of her head and took a club and bashed her in her head. She immediately went into seizure and they began to punch her in her face. Someone sent it to my inbox and I didn't even respond because it was a random person that is a Facebook friend, but I don't know him and never speak to him. And they said, hurry up, make this go viral. You know, this needs to stop. And I'm thinking to myself,
I cannot stand that. I can't stand it. I cannot stand it.
And the sad part was it came with a lie attached to it that they were taking women from Africa into Dubai and these places, selling their organs. First of all, you can't murder someone and take their organs because the organs die with the person, okay? You have to have these people hooked up to life support to harvest their organs. So taking a woman out into a field and busting her head open, you're not going to be able to do anything with her organs. So that was a lie, but that was what they tagged the video with to try to get you to send it. And I counted. Facebook had that video in my inbox for 6.5 days before they deleted the content. So hundreds of thousands of people saw these men holding this woman down as she cried, and then they saw her lose her life. Now, when the people, they put the thing on her head because their intention was, I guess, to just clobber her, not realizing that a direct blow like that was going to kill her, because the video cut off, but you saw them trying to make her conscious. like it doesn't happen. She immediately went into seizure. You see people joking and laughing when you see people falling out in seizure online, and you see people still kicking them and cussing them. It really makes no sense. I'm thinking to myself, what's going on with the human brain that you have no idea that this person is dying before your very eyes? And the only thing I could think of was that there has become a complete lack of compassion. But then I see something like this hurricane, these hurricanes, and I see all of these people donating, and I'm confused. I'm not really sure, because at first I thought, okay, people just have no compassion. But now you see a few flooded vehicles and flooded homes, and everyone's donating money. So is it that our compassion is limited to certain things? Is it that our compassion is, because we step over homeless people like they don't matter. But people who had homes and ended up homeless, isn't that what makes the homeless? I'm sitting here, and as I was studying today, there were so many things I could talk about, but a lot of it, I felt, when it comes to finance and things, it's probably just the most ratchet thing that you can do. The way that they do these young children now who desire to make it an industry, and they have this, well, you gotta pay to play. And you find these people that are just taking money from your children, and then you see some foolishness. Both my son and Earlene's son are both very talented in the artistry and the culture of hip hop, and within that culture is rap music. Both of them are very, very talented. Both of them are unsigned. But then you can see some ratchet foolishness, a boy standing up with dreadlocks in a girl's dress, and he is promoted. He has sponsors. He has backing to present himself as I don't know what. His words have no diction, it's just what they call mumble rap, blah, 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 blah. And there was actually a guy, I don't remember his name, but he said, I don't care what I say. As long as the beat tight, it don't matter. And then I look on social media, and sure enough, he was right. It doesn't matter. Girls.
That's true. It don't matter.
Nope. Girls will bend over and twerk to a song that calls them all types of bees and hoes and sluts and tricks. And they will know all the words and sing them out loud and thought kick to it.
No, the worst one is All My Friends Are Dead. Oh, what's that song? What I think it's what a Lil Yachty or something or whatever. Whoever that rap is. It says something about it. It glorifies the fact that all his friends are dead. The song, I think it talk about the friends committing suicide and some other stuff, but you don't realize what it's saying. What the beat is good, but once I even caught myself, but I was like, oh, this song is long.
I'm looking that up right now because I saw this little boy. Well, it says it's little Uzi Vert. All My Friends Are Dead.
Yeah, that's the one in the dress with the dreads.
Oh, he's the one in the dress? Okay, well, the one I was talking about in the dress was this guy named Young Thug. And I thought, that's really strange because I don't know me.
Well, yeah, Young Thug wears a dress too. He wears a dress, but I think Lil Uzi Vert did like the whole dress and purse and high heel thing too.
Here's the thing, it's oxymoronic to begin with. I know some thugs, and I've never seen them in women's clothing. I've seen them cut throats and shoot, but I never seen them in a dress. But
they got a new type of thug now. He beat you with his purse.
It's like, I'm going to beat you with my purse. Hold up, wait a minute. And then this other trend that I'm seeing on social media and on reality TV is the effeminate Black man arguing with a woman. And it's almost like they want to present to you that all Black men are queens, all of them are soft, all of them are effeminate or homosexual. So they've been putting homosexual men in the midst of women and actually even having them fight and hit one another. Or two homosexual men fighting like women. I know some homosexuals and I know some fighting homosexuals and they don't fight like women. So
I think people forget that homosexual men are still men and
Exactly.
women. And I have seen women deliberately start an argument with a homosexual man because they look at them as women. They're so feminine. They look at them as women. And they really think they're going to whoop these people's ass. And I see it all the time. I've seen it in my shop. I have seen it in front of my shop. I have seen it in the grocery store. I have seen it at the flea markets. Women,
Absolutely.
keep your hands to yourself. Don't hit these men because these men think that they are women and they will beat you. And when they beat you, it's not a feminine ass whooping that you get. You getting beat by a man, okay? So keep your hands to yourself.
But see, the thing is, this ratchetness has taken on a whole personality by itself. One of our callers writes on the board, misinformation is the new education. Keeping ignorance in the forefront is beneficial to their cause. It's making America great again for them. And that is the truth. And the sad part is the coon who stands up like, what was that dude? I don't remember his name, but on Django, the part that Samuel L. Jackson played.
He was the real coon on that way.
Yeah. And the sad part is when we have our black women stand up and promote this buffoonery and make millions off it. Now, people say to me, oh, Sierra, you're so goddess-like. You're just, you're hating the hustle. No, because I come from a different era when a hustle was something else. Now, people are really being hustled in the terms of, being hustled. But the sad part is, when I grew up being hustled.
Did somebody really tell you that?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. I mean, like, I'm hating, don't get one chick even went as far as to tell me that I sounded jealous. And I asked her, why would I be jealous of being ignorant?
I do believe that people have different backgrounds and the way that they live and the way they're raised. Now, I'm outspoken. I'm very non-judgmental, but whole stuff I ain't doing. It's a whole lot of stuff that I'm not doing.
Yeah.
And, I lived a life. I ain't never done drugs in my life. I drink a little wine, but some stuff I'm just not gonna do. I know how to draw the line on certain things, but this culture and the way that the world is right now is messed up. Mentally, really spiritually damaged.
Yes. And that's the thing, when I deal with the energy work and the blockages that people have, and I've had people on my table that I could tell that were like minutes away from murder. Like they saw me at just the right time. The things that they put into their auric field, the things that they drew into their light body were just treacherous. And I thought about it, even how despondent I was when I used to sit up and watch 9 hours of Law and Order. When I was sick and in the hospital and I would just watch hours upon hours of murder. I would watch this show called Snapped until one day I almost snapped. It was what I had put in my spirit. And so that's the thing, Early, a very good point. They used to say, old women used to say, what you behold, you gonna become, baby. And I didn't really understand that when I was young, but they were saying what you set your eyes upon all the time, that's what you're going to become. It's like when Abraham and Lot were together and Lot pitched his tent to Sodom and Gomorrah. It didn't matter that he was with Abraham. He just wanted to go down into Sodom and Gomorrah and live. And so at that point, when you start thinking, this is what I want to be, you have young ladies now saying, I just want to be like Cardi B. But they don't want to be like Cardi B, the musician. They want to be like Cardi B, the stripper.
Because they want whole money.
Yeah, if she could.
They want a whole lot of money.
Yeah, and they want a lot of money for doing nothing.
They want a lot of money for doing whole stuff. Whole stuff, they feel like being a hoe is easy. Being a hoe is not easy.
It's hard.
They don't see the glory in being a hoe.
It's
diseases,
hard.
Herpes, all them antibiotics make your stomach hurt.
Listen, if
Yeah,
y'all have something to say, stop texting me. Call in at 310-928-7733. I try to read the
your
messages
feet
that they
hurt.
come in, but it gets difficult. Nobody wants to talk anymore either. This is live radio. Why are you texting me?
Yes, please call in because I got a whole lot of conversation for y'all tonight. Your
Because when
feet hurt,
as
your
we
back
get
hurt.
ready to
Doing
come
whole
up and
stuff
do
is
the next,
hard.
this is the thing. As we get ready to come up and do the next Ask Earlene, everybody will be calling. They'll be like,
You know what, Sierra? I don't know if they gonna call tonight because they might, they be like, somebody might recognize my voice. They might call, they might not.
Exactly. That's the thing too. Like one girl actually said, she called in and I said, oh, caller, what's your name? And she hung up and then I got a text message from somebody else who said, she didn't want to say nothing because you asked her name. She could have just asked a question. So I've learned to even keep people anonymous, but this is talk radio. And so you need to talk. But as I said last week, I was sitting in the house and I was watching two sisters, both with their phone in the same room, and they were laughing. And then I realized they were texting each other side by side. And I thought to myself, what they were actually doing was having conversation that no one could hear. And I get that. But when I was growing up, we just went outside or something like, let me talk to you or come here, But these kids have so much technology at their hands. I went on Snapchat and I'm still trying to get Earlene to teach me because I am just not tech savvy at all. And so I went on Snapchat and I had this looking at my little friends, and one of my friend's daughter had complete pornography on her Snapchat. And I screenshot it and sent it to her parent. But I thought to myself, what are you doing that you don't know that this is going on with your children? Why are you not involved? Why does a child have a $700 phone? I'll get to that later because we have a caller, area code 626-399. You're live on Grown Folks Business.
Hello, caller.
Hi, this is Carl. I am just really enjoying what you sisters are doing.
Thank you, Carl.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was going to call you. I'm sorry, say it again.
Are you in agreement with what we're talking about tonight? Like, has it just gone too far?
No, I wish I could say there's 100%, but that's too small. 1,000,000% agreement.
It's just gone too far. And it's tragic. My biggest problem, as I tell people, Carl, is as a woman, as a black goddess, as a woman of color, people, I'll even have black women say, you're not black, you Spanish. I got black skin. I'm a black woman. You know what I'm saying? But I remember in the 70s when, man, black women had so much class and grace and style. And I looked at women growing up. I looked at Lena Horne. I looked at Cicely Tyson. And I thought, my God, oh my God, how beautiful and elegant they were. And now I look at us and I cry.
I agree. I remember the 70s.
Yeah.
And I wholeheartedly agree with you.
And I remember when we had respect, we had self-respect. And now it seems like self-respect is out the door. And I hear all of these.
But you got to remember now, they had ratchetness back then, too. It was a lot of whole stuff going on then. But they were still classy. They looked smart, but they were still doing some messed up stuff too. Now, don't try to mop it up by putting 70s on it.
I won't mop it up. What I'm saying is, you knew how to keep your whole stuff private. Yeah, it was always mama, baby, and daddy's maybe, yes. But here's the thing: as a community, we weren't falling apart. Now, I talked to a man the other day who, I was just posing some questions to him, and when I brought up Africa, he went off. And I told him, I said, wow. You see how you don't even know your own heritage. What do you think? Wow. I said, Africa is a metropolis. What do you think it is? Fat bellies and flies? He said, I ain't got nothing to do with no Africa. Like, he went ballistic. And I told him, I said, but the funny thing is, when you go over there, they don't want nothing to do with you because you're a disgrace and an embarrassment. See, African people, I have plenty of West African friends. They speak 5 and 6 languages. They speak 5 and 6 languages. They don't, but now you see them on the internet doing ratchet. And I'm just like, you know, it's gone to the point where it has transcended America and it's global. It's global.
I could tell you guys a couple of solutions because you guys have given me so much. I always say if there's any hurdles over there or any problems are there so we can knock them out our way. And there were a lot of things you guys were talking about earlier that really hit home for me. Again, when you were, like you said, you were in the hospital and you were taking in a lot of law and order and you were taking in a lot of the snaps, and as your eyes, you know, eyes behold is what you become. I was listening to that and it really hit me really hard. And in terms of that is so important. Because it reminds me of Marcus Garvey when he said, if you're going to drink the white man's poison, you're going to die from the effects.
Yes.
And when you guys were talking about the social media and what's happening there. You guys were talking about, I mean, it's so apparent our solution's right in front of our face. You know, it kind of reminds me of like an Easter egg hunt and the Easter egg that everybody walks by at grandma's house. And everybody walks by it the whole day, and everybody's like, wait a minute, and it's the Easter egg that's sitting right in front of the couch leg, right in front of everybody. Mm-hmm. That's how our solutions are. Let me tell you something. First, it starts from what we eat or what we consume. And I'm not talking like our food. I'm talking about what we have in social media. What you said. Exactly. What our diet is, what you guys have said. You know, you guys actually created the solutions and everything you said. What we consume on the social media, what we consume in terms of, you were talking about Cardi B. See, I work in the music industry and I tour. I just got back from another tour and I've toured with a lot of rap artists. Most of these young folks know. I was out on so many, I go back to the days of Sammy Davis and up to the days of, you name the artist, I worked for him. And basically what it is.
With white folks, but had to walk in through the kitchen, okay?
You know what I'm saying? You know, I've worked with so many artists, and even, the ones that the young folk like now. And you're talking about Ratchet. I could tell, there's things that I will never want to see again, in terms of, what I've seen that's happened to our folks over time. And a lot of it is because of what you guys are saying is because of what we bringing in. If we're going to consume hip hop, sports, going to the club, being Ratchet or whatnot, then of course we're going to die from those effects. Like you said, your eyes behold, that's what you become. Well, one thing that traveling the world, I just got back in from Europe. I was over in South America a week ago, and I'll be going back, to Asia probably in the next month or two. And the thing that I noticed is all these other folks, they know exactly how much they can consume because they have a society that says, we're not going to be like those black folk over there that are literally, not only getting shot down in the streets, but, what's happening to their youth and their children. We don't want to be like them, or at least we're going to try as much as we can not to. So what we're going to do is limit what we consume, like hip hop, like Kardashians, like, Love and Hip Hop, and if they do consume it, it's to show their folks and their societies, whatever we do, we don't want to be them, So when I stay in 6-star hotels.
But I'm gonna
I'm sorry.
I said I don't want to cut you off, but I'm gonna tell you this to piggyback on what you said. He's absolutely right because I'm gonna tell you this. I'm a Puerto Rican woman, and in Puerto Rico no tiene BET. There is 0 BET in Puerto Rico. 0. The channel does not exist. Okay, the channel does not exist. There is 0 owned in Puerto Rico. It doesn't exist. Okay. So you're right. The consumption can be limited because they don't bring the channels in. But here's the thing that's even crazier. When they were showing, the murders by the police of the black men, Mike Brown and Philando Castile and all of that, it was not shown at all. Now, to prove that point, my girlfriend was telling me that they were rioting and everything on CNN. I was at home in Puerto Rico. I cut on CNN. That wasn't what was on my CNN. But yet CNN was live. I was like, wow. I had no idea about the murders or anything because I saw none of it in Puerto Rico. None of it.
Wow.
None of it.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you guys another solution, something very simple. Because of the fact that the women, and because to me, the women, for me, men are the vanguards, but the women are the soul, the brain, and the reason we exist. Okay. I always say, if you teach a man, you're going to teach him just for a couple hours. You teach a woman, you're going to teach a nation because you guys are who creates our nation.
Yeah.
Because of that, And my mom did this. I talk to her and I thank her every day for this because she limited what we had. She made sure this is what you're going to have. This is what you're going to do. This is what, we don't want you to have a diet of this. And this is like in the 70s or whatnot, so there wasn't hip hop there, but there was, equivalents of seeing what was going on around. She says, I'm going to make sure whatever you guys get is going to be productive for you. More and more sisters. And the only reason I say that is because, of course, the mother's the first teacher. The mother's the first nurturer. The mother's the first heartbeat that we hear. And I almost want to say get almost like a Soviet Union type of mentality, how they kept everyone out, or how China does right now, or North Korea. They keep everyone out to make sure that their society is the way that they want. And as long as we get Black women enough money, enough security and whatnot, whatever it takes, to where because of the fact that you guys are raising us, because of what it is, to make sure that you can have the ability to keep out all influence, whether it's hip hop, whether it's the games, the clubs, or whatever. So therefore, when you're raising our children, we're raising the children the way that you want us to be raised, and not the streets or not the TV or not social media.
Absolutely. And the sad part is, we will watch. We spank our kids and they come to lock us up. They come to give us a CPS charge, but the police will cut them down in the street and get a not guilty. Now here's the thing. I live in a diverse neighborhood because I have the money.
Now, you do know that if you take a cell phone or an iPad from a child and it belongs to them and you call the police, no matter what you see in it, you cannot punish a child for that. It is against the law now. And if you try to take the cell phone device, it's illegal.
What?
They can take you to jail for that. Did you know that?
Oh, Lord have mercy.
So you take your child's phone from them, or if your child has a lock on their phone, their iPad device, or their tablet, and you go in it, or you take it from them and they call the law, you are going to jail. They can take you to jail for violation of privacy. They can take you for theft over $500 or whatever, however much it costs. You are going to jail.
My son and my daughter, they're 9-year-old twins, and they said to me, Mommy, when can we have a phone? And I said, when you can afford one. And I meant it. And the sad part is I went to their elementary school, and all them daggone 3rd and 4th graders got iPhones and them Samsung phones. And I'm thinking, who gives an 8-year-old a $700 phone? But half of America, my son came home and he says, oh, Mommy, the kids in school told me about this website called YouPorn. What is that? And I'm thinking to myself, oh, elementary kids schools don't know about this stuff. Man, they know more than I know. They know more than I know. I have one computer in my home. But now your TVs are computers. I came out and my child was looking at YouTube on TV and I didn't know how. He said, Mama, it's a smart TV.
Yep.
And I said, well, I'm a dumb mama because I didn't know. And so what I did was, I perused YouTube because I thought YouTube was safe. But no, you got advertisements on YouTube for all types of business. You got a woman on TV that'll show you on YouTube that'll show you how to grapefruit a man, with a gigantic dildo.
What?
Yes, a gigantic dildo in her mouth. She sounds like
what you call it? Grapefruit?
Yes, it's called Grapefruit Your Man.
That don't sound right.
A gigantic dildo in her mouth, and she's showing young ladies how to put their mouth on a lingam and go to work. And
okay, I ain't telling y'all not to grapefruit your man, but just don't get the lessons off YouTube. It was a joke, y'all. It was a joke.
Of all the things that a Black woman could teach young Black girls, she taught them that. And it's like, I read a letter from my mother today. My mother passed away 18 years ago almost. I read a letter from my mother today, and even though she had no idea what she was talking about when she wrote the letter to me, there was so much wisdom in that letter and so much concern. My brother was just lying to her, but my mother wrote to me in the Army, and she wrote to me about the lies that my brother told her, but at the time when I read that letter in my 18-year-old self, I paid no attention to it. But today when I read that letter, I said, wow, this woman loved me. She talked to me like a woman. She was wrong in a lot of the things she said, but she was saying, she was saying things like, you don't embarrass me. And, she was making a lot of things about herself. But I recognize that that's the way they spoke to their children back then. They wanted you to go out the house. And my mother used to say, act like you got some sense. She didn't tell us that we had any sense, but she told us to act like we had some sense. And now it's like somebody says, here's $100,000, act like you have no sense at all. And
That's true.
And I live in a diverse neighborhood because I have enough wits about me to live. I live in where I retired in my military community. So we're very diverse. My neighbors are, Mexican, Filipino, white, black, Puerto Rican. We're everything. We're a melting pot, but I'm from New York and it's completely segregated. It's complete. People think that segregation is over. It's not. It's completely segregated. You go to New York, it's 2 blocks of everything except for the Jews and the Italians and the Greeks, and when you go over there, you can go and spend your money over there with them, but you better be out at a certain time. You understand what I'm saying? You know what happened in Bedford-Stuyvesant several years ago when they walked through that neighborhood at dark, and those Italian people thought that they were coming trying to date their daughters and cut them down in the street. So, the world is still very segregated. You can go into all black neighborhoods, all white neighborhoods, all Spanish neighborhoods, but the problem is, we are watching the culture and emulating the cultures that we see via social media. I stopped some little boys, from fighting yesterday, and they were clapping hands and bruh, this ignorant demeanor, 14-year-old little boys. And I asked them, I said, why are you continuing to call him bro, but you're treating him like less than a dog? He's not your brother. And he told me, well, no, it's just a saying. I said, no, you need to stop getting your balls juiced up on the internet. Real talk. They had their hands up for like 15 minutes. Just come on. Nobody was hitting. See, I grew up in an era where you got punched in your face. Now it's a bunch of words and hand slapping and talking and posturing and foolishness. And by that time, somebody has a gun, And we think that going to prison, you listening to these rappers, they got on rented clothes, they driving rented Ferraris, they living in rented houses. These people are gimmicks.
Exactly.
And falling for it. They are gimmicks. They don't buy that crap. They have stylists who rent it from depots. They're not running around with that Hermes bag, but your stupid behind bought it. They got prop sets on movies these movie sets have millions of dollars worth of props. And these people wear this stuff. They don't buy that jewelry. It's rented. Why do you think that they have the armed guards and stuff with them? Because that jewelry has been loaned to them. That purse, they lease those purses. They have websites where you can lease a bag for 30 days. They're smart enough to keep their money, and you're dumb enough to spend yours. And that's the sad
Ladies,
part. If you try to get black people together to not spend their money, they refuse.
Exactly. Ladies, I'm going to listen to the rest off the air, but you've just given so many solutions just with what you said right here.
Carl, thank you so much. King.
Oh, I appreciate you guys.
You too. Thank you for calling in.
I'll just give you a recap. You said, one, what we take in, make sure that we don't, consume all this stuff, the bad stuff. Two, you talk about segregation, or maybe it's time that we start to resegregate. Three, let's make sure we spend our money with each other, because clearly they're not spending it with us. Ladies, I appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Carl. Peace and blessings, brother.
You got it.
And that's the thing, people, I can never be a racist. Nothing that I can do can put another person under my authority or subjection. I am not even prejudiced. I live in this world. I'm a melting pot of races myself. But I do understand prejudice, and I do understand and understand racism. And I do understand living under the authority of someone else's disguise. And I pull the wool off of that, and I'm not blinded by it. And the problem is that, you know, people have gone blind and they still got a license to drive. It's dangerous out here. It's dangerous out here because people are asleep and they're driving at the wheel. They got narcolepsy and they got a license to operate heavy machinery. That's crazy. How you think, Earlene, I looked at a report today that said heroin is like back in full effect. Now, I saw depictions of heroin addicts on TV. I don't ever want to do that. How do you glamorize heroin? But social media has. They even have a form of advertisement and modeling that's called heroin chic. Where the models look like waifs and have dark circles under their eyes and they're androgynous and wasted away. And this is attractive in the fashion industry. We are losing our mind as a people. I can laugh, Earlene. She can buy all the food stamps she wants if you dumb enough to sell them. Yep.
Yes, if you dumb enough to sell them to me, you better give it to me.
You know, and the sad part is, you know, her and I, you know, this is my ace boom coon. This is my girl from around the world. This is my sister from the same sister. But we have different upbringings and different philosophies, and that's why I love doing this show with her, because she has a completely different perspective, and I respect it. But see, that's the hustle I'm used to, the Earlene hustle.
You know, I come from a very well-to-do family, but hey, if you sell me some food stamps, I'm buying them. I believe in budget.
She calls it budgeting. I get that. You know, but here's the thing, you know, shout out to my brother. I'm so thankful that his house wasn't burglarized. But yesterday, someone tried to break into my brother's home, you know, and they actually had a truck.
What?
They had a truck. And so they tried to break into his house, but thankfully he had good doors and they couldn't get in. But the person came prepared. They wasn't no robber, like with their hands. They came with a whole truck. They had taken like $20,000 of the neighbors and stuff belongings, and they were just filling their truck up, going through the neighborhood, breaking their houses. What in the world is wrong with people? You didn't think you thought to rent a truck to rob people's houses. People have lost their mind. This is grown folks' business, and I hear the time, I'm grown, but I'm finding a lot of childishness out here on this planet right now, and it's driving me crazy. Earlene, let the people know how they can get in touch with you.
You can reach me at Beauty and Raw Spiritual 423-803-9007. And thank you again to our caller for calling me tonight. Y'all need to brave up. Y'all should be shaming yourself. We get on here and do this for you and Sierra go through all that. Y'all need to call in.
They like to text me now. They like to text on the board and all that. And I don't mind it. I appreciate and love my fans.
But I can't see it.
When I talk, I know. They text me. But when you see Earlene, she don't do her inbox. You better not inbox her. And you can reach me on SierraTorres.com, or you can call me at 254-466-3965. I will check my inbox, but I don't really like it. So you can text me or whatever you want to do. But, you know, all you kings, I love you. But, you know, I don't want to go out on a date. So with that being said, this is Grown Folks Business, and we'll see you again live next week at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InnerLightRadio.com, the healing frequency.
Good.
Used to letdowns and heartbreaks, lost in silhouettes of your heartache.